Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is All in the Charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and you need to click the bell icon for all notifications. All notifications. It's really annoying how YouTube does it. You have to click all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Right as I started going live, I had something stuck in my eye here. Hey, I hope everyone is having a good day. Feels nice to be back. I was not able to live stream yesterday. Didn't miss too much in the markets. Guys, I've been having one of those weeks. A lot going on. So we go through these cycles in life, feeling the stress of life right now. A little stress, little healthy stress never hurt anyone, right? But I hope everyone is doing well out there. I'm gonna pop myself a bubbly. Good to see DJ in here. Oof. We got Evan. Evan, that's a lot of spaceships. One can only hope, right? Yeah, it is strange how God works. I was talking to a guy at the gym earlier this morning, and I'll tell you what, I've had my own stuff going on, but this guy was just, I just allowed him to talk, and man, he's been through a lot. It's interesting. It's interesting when you're friendly to people, and you allow them the opportunity. Hey, Kyle, what's up? You allow them the opportunity to sort of just open up and share whatever they want to share. I think what I have found is there are a lot of people out there that don't really have someone to go talk to, and they have things sort of like bottled up, and they struggle with things. And then if you just sort of open up the door, just leave the door cracked, they'll begin to just share stuff with you. And sometimes it's good to get that stuff out. And everybody struggles with stuff. This guy had a pretty long story about some struggles he's gone through, and he was really telling me that his ex-wife, who they were apparently, even though they got divorced, they were still very good friends. And I've heard stories like that before. 30 years, and she just passed away on Monday. So he's been having a go of it. So that was kind of rough to hear. What's up, Track? Glad to see you in here. There was something else I wanted to share with you guys, and I completely forgot. I did share on Twitter. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure to give me a follow on Twitter, because I did share yesterday. Usually, if something comes up and I'm unable to live stream for whatever reason, I'll typically just have it on Twitter. I won't go to YouTube and put out a post on it. So if you are following me on Twitter, you would have gotten that announcement yesterday that I wasn't able to live stream. But I did indicate today that I was going to draw a comparison between yesterday's Phillies win over the Marlins, go Phillies, to the Bitcoin and crypto market. And I am going to be doing that shortly. Let me get into the comments here, and then we are going to be getting into the charts. We also, at the end of this month, are going to be celebrating 7 months of live streaming, which is very, very hard to believe. DJ with some updates here. Life is lived forward, but it's only understood backwards. In many cases, it is. Always hindsight 2020, right? Sometimes we do not realize things in the moment, and then we look back and we're like, yes. Sounds like things are going well for you, sir. Yeah, even with high interest rates. It's funny, the interest rate environment, it's high only relative to recent times. If you actually study the past 50 years, their interest rates are actually lower than what they've been. But in an artificially low interest rate environment that we've seen in the past, 20 years or so. Not 20 years, maybe, roughly 15 years. Interest rates are high. BTC do something. We're about to get into that. CBG, if you had an extra $5,000 right now, how would you spend it on crypto? When would you buy and what? So I'm never going to offer you financial advice, and I'm not going to say what you should put your $5,000 into. But what I will say is this. If I had some extra money to deploy into the market, the way I would strategize it is I'd pick my asset or set assets given the current levels that we're at, this would be my mindset. I am an investor, right? I wouldn't be looking to day trade that $5,000 or swing trade it over the course of the next couple weeks, right? So as an investor, if I'm looking at this chart, Bitcoin's below the 200 simple moving average, and given my expectations of what I see coming in the fourth quarter and going into next year, I'd be a buyer here. Okay, so for me, I would put the majority in here and not squabble over a 5 or 10% move. So I'd put it in here, and then I might see if we get a back test closer to 26.5 and maybe put in a buy limit order more towards the. Now this is just speaking to Bitcoin. So to answer your question for me, I'd probably put a good 65% into the market now, and I wouldn't wait. That would just be me. And the 35% I would keep on the sideline in case we do get some sort of a deeper retracement here. But again, the question you got to ask yourself is if you're invested for the longer term here going into next year and possibly beyond, although I think the markets are going to top next year. If you really are invested in this market, does it really make sense to not buy here? that would be my thought. I wouldn't get too cute here, my own opinion, based on the long term. Because again, if you got really super cute, we go back to a time period here. Let me ask you a question. If you bought anywhere in this price area, does it really matter? I mean, you're up. You could have bought at 7, 8, 9, 10. You're still up monumentally on Bitcoin. So you are clearly a genius if you bought back there, right? Same back in 2000, late 18, early 19. If you bought anywhere in the $3,000 range, where I was imploring my family to get into Bitcoin actually for the first time, you clearly look like a genius right now, right? That's my perspective. Oh, look, there's Crypto Bull God saying to crush the thumbs up. Yes, I did say that. I bet CBG would buy Caspa. Well, I mean, I think Caspa is. I think Caspa is certainly providing an opportunity. I'll say that, and I've been speaking about that project for a while. So I expect very, very big things in the fourth quarter. So we'll have to see if that comes fruition. But I own a significant chunk of Caspa. All right, let's get into the charts here. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. Again, nothing surprising. We're having a difficult time getting above this 200 simple moving average. Nothing has changed, related to my comments that I spoke to surrounding this $28,000 area. We took a look at several charts and why the $28,000 region would be a difficult area to get above. So it will be, once we do push above this area, let's say it happens next week, we get a candle body close above that $28,000 area, that's going to be a big victory for us. Okay, that $28,000 area will be a major victory for us once we could get a candle body close back above there. Okay, but you can see we're struggling right now. This is the 12-hour. Nothing overly concerning. Nothing new to report here. Same thing with the 200 simple moving average on the daily. What's all this stuff here? I used the bars pattern from a prior move. If we're going to see some sort of a major move to the upside in October, in the fourth quarter, I should say, but it could be as early as October potentially. If we're going to see that big move in the fourth quarter, I really need to start to see prices develop in this way, right? We really need to start poking our head up to 30,000. People in this range as we start to come back down to 29,000. This is just a dead cat bounce, and then boom, like a rocket ship up, we get a huge move up to 34, 35,000 and above, right? This is ideally what we need to see at some point if I am correct in saying that we are going to see a monumental, a very large move coming in the fourth quarter of this year. So, and I do see there's a super chat by, I think it might be Evan, which I'll get to in a moment. Thank you for that, my friend. So how am I relating Bitcoin to the Phillies win yesterday over the Marlins? Well, it goes something like this. During the game, which I had plans only to stay up for a couple innings for. I've really been dragging this week with sleep, not really feeling the best this week, and ended up staying up for the whole game. Okay, so my own fault. But glad I did. Glad I did because it's not often that you get to see your childhood team potentially go to the World Series and they're in the playoffs. So I'm watching the game, and this relates to crypto. So I'm watching the game, and all of a sudden, we got bases loaded. I think it might have been the 7th or 8th inning. I forget which inning it was. Maybe the 7th, right? So bases are loaded, and as one of the Phillies batters is coming up to bat, as he's walking up to the plate, I texted my brother and said something along the line. You know what? I'll read the text message, okay? I won't read the text messages after that because there's a lot of profanity. But, and we never do profanity on this channel. You know me. Hold on. There were a lot of text messages last night. Oh my God. So many text messages from last night. Come on, Harper. Gonna bust a nut. Where is my text message? Oh, here it is. So Bryson is coming up to bat. Anybody who's familiar with the Phillies. And I said, I'm calling it grand slam. Okay, here's the text message. I'm calling it, one text message, grand slam. As soon as I sent the text message, I didn't even see it. I heard the crack of the bat and the fans, and I looked up, and then I said, oh my God, because it was just too, I misspelled God, oh my God, what the fuck, oh my God, I just shit my pants. Okay? Just like that, on the first pitch, Bryson Stott hit a grand slam to put the Phillies up 7-0. And I was elated. Part of me wanted to cry. I was so happy. And the way that I'm drawing that similarity to the crypto market is just when you're sort of at a point where maybe you're expecting something. That was me partly joking, me partly being serious. You're sort of maybe expecting something. Just like that, it happens. Just like that, it happens. I have been here so many moments in time in this market. I've been here at distinct points in time, and I can remember them. I can remember where I was at, and I can remember the price action coming in, where when I looked on my phone, I looked on my computer, and I was like, what the fuck? We are seeing some significant rises in Bitcoin, which ultimately bled down to your altcoins, right? Your altcoins weren't really moving, and Bitcoin made some monumental 20% move in a single day move up in price. I'm not sharing this with you to create hype in the space or be a moon boy. It's not who I am. I mean, even given my age, I'm not a moon boy. Again, I'll go back to my day job. I'm a data scientist at the end of the day. I'm a very grounded individual. I'm an actuary, okay? The point of me bringing this up to you is I feel super ultra convicted. I don't care what the narrative is. I could care less what the narrative is. I've been here too many times before. I feel uber confident. There is going to be a day, as much as I'm expecting, let me just say this, as much as I'm expecting a move like this to come in at some point, I'm going to wake up one morning, it's going to happen just like that, and I'm going to be shocked still, just to see the breadth of movements that can take place in this market. And I want to share this with you guys because I know especially those of you who have been here for not too long a period of time, you might be getting a little salty. You might be wavering in your level of confidence. You may be second guessing some of the investments that you made. If you remain dedicated and patient, right, and you have a thesis to all this, but you remain dedicated and patient, and you know why you're here, and you have a plan on how you want to scale out of your investments at logical areas, I do promise you, you can succeed at investing in this market. You really can. We are going to have a take your breath away moment, just like that grand slam last night. It is going to come into this market when fewest participants expect it. That is what always happens. It's not like you're going to go on Twitter, or you're going to go on Twitter Spaces or YouTube, and everyone's going to be talking about the move that's going to be coming in. That's not when the move will occur. It will occur, like I had tweeted out a couple days, where there was a prominent YouTuber and person that does Twitter Spaces who said, yeah, it basically said, me see if I can pull it up here real quick. If I can pull it up real quick, I don't want to waste time. But if I can quickly pull this up. Here we go. Hold on. I'm getting there. Stay with me. Here we go. Scott Melker, which no disrespect to Scott Melker. I actually watch some of his content from time to time. Haven't watched it in a little bit, but past several months. But I've watched some of his content. You know, I expect Bitcoin to not do anything for quite a while. And so my tweet to him, of course, I mean, I didn't get a response. I'm a nobody to this guy. So, but my question is, isn't he afraid that he has herd mentality? I mean, this is all I'm hearing. In fact, this morning, wanted to share this with you actually, which relates to this. This morning, I got really irritated, probably because of the lack of sleep. But the other reason that I got irritated was because I feel like 2 consecutive days now, when I wake up early in the morning and I start my day and I'm doing some work, I'm doing some charting, I got the coffee going, I'm trying to wake up here before my workout, all that stuff. I like listening to content, educational content in the background as I'm doing these things. And the only thing that I see coming up on YouTube is literally, we're not entering a recession, we're entering a Great Depression. The market's going to shit. Thumbnails to try to get clicks going like this, you know, with red arrows going down in the market. This is all I see on YouTube. And it is so irritating. It's so, this content, and I'm open to alternative views and I've shared this with you. You guys should know this if you've been here for a while. I'm always open to a line of thinking that differs from my own if it's educated and well-founded. I'm always open to that. What I get really disheartened by and what irritates me is when I feel like I'm seeing the same narrative painted over and over again. I'll get the same way when there's just too much euphoria in the market. I'm sick of hearing about Bitcoin going to 500,000. Guys, can we just get to 100,000? We're nowhere. Can we at least get to 100,000 before we start talking about 500,000? That stuff irritates me. So when that stuff starts to be very prominent, that's going to irritate me. But all of this pessimism, some of it is out there just to feed into your emotions. So one of the things I want to do when you guys come onto this channel, even though I try to be comical and lighthearted in nature quite oftentimes, I really want to try to keep you guys grounded in the realm of reality. It's why I tell you I'm not going to feed into your emotions if you're an XRP fanboy and you think it's going to $30 next year. It's not going to go to $30 next year. Bitcoin's not going to hit $250,000 next year. I don't see any of those things playing out, right? We should come to this channel and have an honest discussion about what the chart looks like and some realistic price levels and potentially when we could get there, right? That is why I'm here. I am uber bullish on this market. I am uber bullish that we're going to get some monumentally positive movements up in the market, volatilities at a historic low once again, which is spelling the fact that we're either going to see a move to the downside or upside. You know what camp I'm in. But either way, I'm going to do my best to always keep you guys grounded because I just see way too much pessimism. And I was getting so annoyed this morning because I wanted to go to channels that I typically go to listen to the news, and it's nothing but pessimism. And I just puts you in this negative frame of mind. I don't even want to listen to it. I'm tired of hearing about the world ending. Russia's going to nuke the world. The economy's going to shit. We're entering the Great Depression. People aren't going to be able to eat. Go fuck yourself. Like, I'm tired of hearing these messages, and it's negative, and it's all I see on YouTube lately. It's very irritating. All right, let's get into, real quick, let me see, was there something else I wanted to talk about? Nothing on here. Oh, real quick, and then I want to get to Evan here. It looks like he dropped me something. He probably wants me to chart because he dropped me a super chat. So the other thing I wanted to hit on here on the S&P, for those people that are spelling doom and disaster in equity markets, can we just have, once again, an honest conversation about what the chart is saying? Let me try to perhaps give you an alternative view to the world ending tomorrow of what the chart is saying, okay? Now, it is true. I circled 2 areas here. Really, these are 2 ovals, not circles. 2 ovals here, right? If we get a monthly close, this is on the monthly chart for the S&P. if we start to get a monthly close below the 21 exponential moving average, the blue line here, which also coincides with an area of price confluence right around 4,100, if we start to get a candle body close below like 4,100, roughly 4,100, yeah, then I would start to be mildly concerned. I would be. But I would not start to become very concerned. I wouldn't start to have a higher degree of concern until we get all the way down here and get a candle body close, not a wick, a candle body close below 3,800. I think we have to drop another like 8 or 9%. Let me see. So we'd have to drop from current price levels. We would have to close, we would have to close nearly 11% lower from where we're at. So let me level set once again for anyone tuning in who's been doom and gloom, and this is all you're hearing on Twitter and YouTube. Even certain family members who are getting very pessimistic and emotional. Let me share something with you here. Of course, I know none of my family members are listening in, but my brother might actually be listening, especially because I think he works from home today. But since the bottom in the S&P that was created in October of 2022, remember what I shared with you. It's not my opinion. It's just facts in the charts. We literally had a straight shot up to nearly touch all-time highs. We went up 32%. 32%. Now, in the past 3 months, what has ensued? Remember, 32%. Okay, we have currently corrected nearly 8%. So in 3 months, after a 32% move to the upside, we've come down 8%, and everyone is shitting their pants. This is how emotions end up becoming a money killer. You know, the old adage is you buy low and sell high, right? If you're panicking, one thing I feel very convicted in telling you, I can't promise you this, but I feel very convicted in telling you this. If you're shitting your pants at these levels and you plan on selling, I believe you're going to regret that decision. If you're planning on exiting the stock market and selling equities and getting out at this level, I think you're making a mistake. Again, never financial advice. Maybe I will be proven wrong and it'll be the best mistake. Maybe we are just going to fucking plummet and we're just going much lower and I'm completely missing something. But I think if you're selling at these levels after an 8% move down when nothing in the chart is giving any high degree of severe concern, I think you are going to be kicking yourself. It's the same thing that was being told to you, in my opinion, back here. We're going so much lower. We're going so much lower. We're going so much lower. 32% move to the upside. And by the way, something else that I've hit on for months on this channel, I have tried to instill this in you guys. And I hope for those who have been here, the message was well received and it didn't fall on deaf ears. There has been so much conversation about the equity markets and Bitcoin decorrelating, that they once were so positively correlated, meaning they moved in the same direction, and now they've completely diverged. And as you can see, as the equity markets, right around April here, as the equity markets have gone up, right, Bitcoin has sort of stagnated and not done much, right? I have been saying for months that a positive correlation does not necessitate exact price movements. What happens is when you zoom out on a chart and you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, yes, there are some deviations that take place, but they're shorter term in nature, and they're ultimately made up in months out down the road. Meaning, I believe what's going to happen in generalities here, we are going to get some sort of a bounce. We'll get some sort of a mild bounce here. But I think Bitcoin and the crypto markets are going to outperform that move. Just like the stock market was outperforming Bitcoin and crypto during this time period, I think the exact opposite is going to be the truth, the case in the fourth quarter. We'll have to see if that pans out. But all things to keep in mind here. Long the Euro DXY. Evan, did you watch Alessio Rastani's video? Great video, and he kind of hit on that, what you're getting at. Following Twitter would be easier than refreshing 50 times. Yeah, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Good morning, DT. Glad to see you in the live stream, sir. Having a cup of coffee there. Thank you for the super chat, Evan. I'm assuming. Okay, you're just being kind. Well, look, Evan, I appreciate the super chat. Super chats to me, the way I interpret a super chat is it's like tipping your waiter, right? I don't expect, a little bit different because I don't expect tips every single time I come out here on a live stream. But I think, once in a while, if you feel the need, hey, go for it. I appreciate it. But it's like tipping. That's how I look at it. But it's never expected, but always appreciated. That's the way that I would put it. Is Caspa going to make its way into the Holy Trinity? The Holy Crypto Trinity? No, that's only reserved. The Holy Crypto Trinity is the Holy Crypto Trinity. It will always be the Holy Crypto Trinity. But, fun fact, interesting you brought that up. I did think of doing something along those lines with Caspa. I'll keep that one close to the hip. We'll have to see if I'm correct, and this thing does start making a move into the top 30-20 here over the next couple months. I think that'll even more push me in the direction of doing what I have been formulating in my head. So I do have something potentially unique in store for Caspa, how I want to frame that one, but it's not going to be part of the Holy Crypto Trinity. So YC, we're talking about Uphold. Yeah, they haven't gotten back to me. Be careful with Uphold. They do not allow native withdrawal as well. They won't let you withdraw Digibyte either. Wouldn't be surprised if they don't allow Caspa, just my 2 cents. I would like to think that the way, I don't know if you guys know this about Uphold, how familiar you are with Uphold. They're sort of like an exchange, but sort of not like an exchange. The way they work, the general premise of how they work is they're sort of like a third party. And what they do is when you purchase crypto, they're hitting other exchanges and algorithmically getting you the best price. That's what they state. Okay, so they're going at certain exchanges and trying to get you the best price based on what you want to purchase, right? So now, having something, and this is where the tech side of me, obviously I don't work on that side, so I can't answer the question what infrastructurally has to work for them to be able to do this, but it's a different, so for them to do that and then hold it for you, it's different for them to allow that native token to on and off ramp actually on the exchange itself. From the infrastructure technology standpoint, that needs to be built. I would like to think that they're working on that. I'm trying to get a straight answer here. If you guys have been keeping track, this is what YC is getting at. I have been relentlessly, for 8 days now, trying to get a response on this, asking if it would be made available by early fourth quarter. If not, I just tweeted something out today and just said, give us some clarity here in terms of when, if it's not early fourth quarter. Yeah. So I've been posting for 8 days asking if Uphold will have the infrastructure to withdraw. Here, I'll do this live with you guys. Oh. Hi, Uphold. Let's do this together. Hi, Uphold. Currently on my live stream, and all of my fellow crypto brothers from another mother in the Caspa community are very eager to when do you plan to respond? Yeah, I understand. Look, I understand if they can't commit to a specific date. That's not what I'm asking. Or even a specific, maybe they can't even commit to an expected month. I think the least they could do is provide something. I'll give you an example. The least they could do is say, hey, we're targeting the fourth quarter of this year, but that's not a commitment. We're not definitively saying that withdrawals will be available by the fourth quarter. That's currently what we're targeting, but it could potentially take longer, right? This could bleed into the first quarter of next year, right? You don't want to do a flare thing, right? What's that dickwad's name? That ass clown from Flair. I forget his name now. God, guy pissed me off. I forget his name, but he was horrible at communicating. It was constantly that the Flair airdrop was taking place. The Flair airdrop was going to take place. The Flair airdrop was going to... They kept revising the dates. That's not what I'm asking for. A good leader, I think in this situation, a good leader would respond to this and provide something directionally that doesn't commit them to something that they can't hit, but at least, you're giving some feedback to give directionally what we could roughly anticipate without uphold to anything. So hopefully they'll reply back. I would really appreciate it. I've tweeted at them so much now. Let's see what else we got here. Wow, they held your withdrawal for a week. Wow. Interesting. We got more people from this project back again. I see. Scott Melker is just like 99% of the traders on crypto Twitter. Same groupthink, all incorrect at tops and bottoms, but have a following through grifting. Well, yeah, I don't want to take a shit on anyone, but I can't help but feel similarly, honestly. So you can't, no matter how popular you get, and I'm not saying this is the case for Scott, but no matter how popular you get, you can't lose your individuality and the way you think, right? You don't want groupthink. Hey, Kathleen, welcome in. There is a video, YC, there is a video coming out. Sorry, there is a video coming out on Digibyte. I wanted to get it out today. I've had too many other things going on outside of here. I felt pretty exhausted this week, but I should, if it's not out tomorrow, it will definitively be out by Saturday. But I do have I do want to give the Digibyte community an update because there is something significant that has developed on one of the charts that we do need to have it's bullish, but we need to have a conversation about it. Evan, you are quite the chartist. Guys, what other charts would you like me to take a look at today? Honestly, it's a little difficult. It really is. It's a little difficult when there isn't anything. When you're live streaming, every day and prices are just going like this, it does make it challenging to come up with new and interesting views that we can take a look at together, especially when you have limitations on the day and my workload has definitely picked up in the past month or so. So past couple weeks, I should say. Now, what will be fun, I will say this, guys. What will be fun is doing these live streams every day when things are monumentally rising in price. That's going to be a good time. That is going to be a very good time. How about the OG coins? I think I told you guys, I own every single coin on this list except for Syscoin. It's the only one I don't own. What did traditional markets do today? DXY is down a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, just not much movement. That's the thing. There isn't really anything new to update. Something kind of comical for all the flare holders out there like myself. This thing's going to be under a penny. I'm just going to call it right now. If it hasn't even, let's take a look. This thing has just been absolutely atrocious. What's that guy's name? I forget. Still trying to think of his name. Look at this thing. It's just an absolute dumpster fire. What a shame. Have we gone below a penny yet? Not yet, but I think once we break a penny, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I remember when the Flare airdrop took place. When the Flare airdrop took place, it was all the way up at market cap ranking like 65 or something like that. And now I think it's like 110 or 120. Let's take a look together. Where's it at right now? 113. This was all the way up at like 65. It's fucking crazy. This piece of shit coin. I know there were a lot of people excited about this airdrop, but disappointing, guys. Disappointing. Let's see what else we got here. YC, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate all you guys. I really do. I appreciate everybody who tunes in here every single day and finds value in my content. I did see that, DJ, about Gary Gensler losing again on XRP because he is known as Gary Tyrant Fucktard Gensler. Okay, I do have a TA question. Sorry I missed that earlier. I'm going to get through all your comments. I just saw I missed a TA question, which is what I'm looking for from you guys. So DT has a question on Naka. I've never looked at it before, but I'll look at it with you. At least I don't think we've looked at it. It doesn't sound familiar to me. No, we've never looked at it. It's having a hell of a run, though. So, DT, Nakamoto Games. Okay, so this is a gaming play. Let's take a look at this. Good call, DT. It's looking like a nice chart. Appreciate it. I like when I get some really nice-looking charts in here. 421. What exchanges is this on? Okay, it's on Mexi. KuCoin. All right. Let's take a look at the chart. So you can see one of the very first things that should stick out to you. I'm not going to draw this as an actual trend line descending resistance. Just look at the line. The general premise here is from the top to the bottom, we're just in this massive waterfall, right? This looks like the flare price at the moment, right? So thing is taking a ginormous poop on the market. Of course, it came out at a bad time, it looks like. It came out literally right at the start of 2022. We did create a floor here. Great to see. Right around... What do we got? Right around here, like a half a cent, right? And I would actually be a little bit more aggressive and draw it right there. So you got this like half a cent point... Oh, no, wait, that's not half a cent. That's 5 cents. Excuse me. So you got like 5.5 cents as an area of support. And now look what's going on. Now, the reason I really like this chart, there is a clear, distinct pattern present on this chart. Don't overcomplicate it or overthink it. What is it? High. 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 Okay. Higher highs. Low. 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 Higher lows. I love the higher highs, and I love the higher lows. Now, one thing it does look like this might be setting up for, actually, which wouldn't be bullish if I draw this. We'll have to see how it pans out. This is on a weekly, by the way. You do want to watch that there isn't a rising wedge here. This doesn't need to pan out, but one thing I would watch... Again, when you've charted so many different charts, a lot of these patterns, it's just very instinctive. You see it right away. I need to chart this right away, right? Now, I'm not saying that this pattern will play out, but it is present, okay? So that is something you need to be mindful of. This is a rising wedge. So what happens is it's the opposite of a falling wedge. You're real wide here, and you start to narrow up here, and then eventually you break down, right? Now, it doesn't need to play out, though. I've seen these rising wedges do the opposite of what is most statistically likely, okay? So that is the most statistically likely thing when you have a rising wedge, but I've also seen this. I've seen a fake out and then a move up and continuation, or I've seen us just break out, backtest, and continue up. So there really is a probability for all three scenarios, but it's something you would at least want to be cognizant of, that you do have a bearish pattern present in the data here. Now let's talk about areas of support and resistance on NACA. I like what I'm seeing here, though. Outside of the rising wedge, let's take a look at the pricing indicators. Price indicators, RSI looks great. We're getting close to oversold. We're at 69. Stochastic RSI is healthy. MACD looks great. So price indicators are good. I love what I'm seeing on the higher highs, higher lows. Let's chart out some areas of price confluence on support. In the event we do get that pullback, let's try to identify sensible areas that we could pull back to. Whew, eyes are starting to get a little strained here. I like that area right there. Lines up with price confluence over here. Just like I bet you there's an area right there. I mean, that's just perfect. You see how I'm charting this? It's not magic. There's confluence here, right? And once we broke down waterfall, can't get above it, can't get above it, broke above it, support, and continue it. That's how I'm drawing this. It's not magic. It's just when you chart these things for so long, these areas, especially on a clean chart like this, areas of support and resistance are very easy to identify. These are the major. I don't want to clutter the chart too much. These are, I don't want to clutter the chart. These are your major areas of support. So you got 5.5 cents to 5 cents. You got 21 cents, 36 cents, and 41 cents. There's a big gap in here. I should draw another area. There's a couple, like right there. I mean, it's really a zone. This is the thing when you can get too cute, but you could draw all sorts of different areas in here actually. So also 9 cents and 13 cents. Okay, but the chart's looking really good. I really like what I'm seeing now in terms of resistance. I mean, very evident. Now there was an area of resistance right here. Are we still? Looks like we broke that. But it's really a zone. You can come all the way up to here. Have we broken through all that? We broke this one. This is support. Nice job. All right, so we still have this area of resistance at 87 cents, 87.5 cents. Beyond that, I mean, we're getting close to really making what could be a significant move if the falling wedge doesn't play out. Is that a dot on my screen, or is that... Okay, that was bugging me. So line right... Why the hell did that do? Line right there. Like right there. So I would worry about these areas first. You can see the resistance DT. I'm talking about like 87, 88 cents, $1.26 and 233. Now the nice thing about these moves, of course, there could be more resistance in here, but the nice thing about once we start to break like $1.26, there's a lot of air, a lot of white space in between here, in my opinion. So you could potentially see some sort of a quick volatility wick once we break $1.26 to shoot all the way up towards $2. Might not be 233, but at least the psychological level of $2. Chart's looking good. Looks like a nice turnaround in the chart, though. You know, one could also say, just real quick before we hop off, I really like this chart. One could also say we have a rounding bottom, right? Just like we have a rising wedge, which is bearish. It also looks like, to me, what we might get out of this, another possibility, DT, is you could have a situation where you're getting, because I've seen these setups as well plenty of times, you get this nice, see that nice rounding bottom? And eventually what happens is we enter this eventual parabola, right? So, and we saw this on injective protocol, actually. That's one that sticks out to me. So we're sort of rounding here, and then we get one final sort of shoot up, and then that's when we have a harsh correction, and then begin our journey back up, right? So you could see some sort of sharp parabolic move towards $2 or $3 there before we start to really fade out. So interesting chart. I really like that one. Really like that one. Let's see what other questions we have. Hugo, yes, Hugo Fillion or whatever his name is. That's the dickwad. That's the guy that I can't stand. Yeah, we'll have to see on the DXY. We'll see how it looks at the end of the week. We'll say, well, that would be tomorrow, right? By the way, I know Fridays have been kind of, sparse if I do a live stream. I should be here tomorrow. I should be here tomorrow, so I should be live streaming tomorrow. If I don't, for some reason, live stream tomorrow, I'll probably just end up live streaming Sunday, if it makes sense. But I should be here tomorrow just to make you guys aware. So we can take a look at the DXY tomorrow. Illuvium, you're an Illuvium fan. I'm not familiar with the project. You're sticking with One and Zill. Of course, I own a lot of Harmony One. I am a Harmonaut. Ethereum Classic. I actually own a little bit of Ethereum Classic. I've shared that with you guys. I own a little bit of Ethereum Classic. Chart's real nice. So, Flare airdrops, those monthly scheduled airdrops, Evan, you should see them showing up. As long as you have it wrapped and delegated, you should see that showing up around I think it's like the 10th or 15th of each month. So I think like next week we should get another drop. Flare balance keeps going up, but the portfolio keeps going down. USD value keeps going down. I'm just here for the chat. I stay for the TA. Aw. That hit me right here. That right in the boobie. I gotta say, that's actually a solid. I've never done that before. That's a solid boob. Worked out the boobies today, upper lower chest day. Repping out 245 on decline, just repping that shit out. Dear God, Kathleen, you hit me with 4 charts. So we're not going to look at all 4. I do appreciate you asking. Let me see which ones I can quickly answer, and then maybe I'll chart one of them, and we'll chart the other one tomorrow. UMA recently charted some bullish divergence on the 5-day chart in particular that I've been looking at. If you want to take a trade in it, I think I even put a chart on Twitter. Track, not too much has changed. It's interesting you asked about Track, Origin Trail. I just charted that today, actually. You know what? I'll show you real quick. Hold on. Actually, that one I'll show you because I just charted it today. So I'll just one quick observation. We got sort of this triangular consolidation that's going on. So that's kind of what I was observing. Let me get these fib extensions off. Yeah, I was just observing the fact that we're sort of coiling in here. That's all. But nothing really. It's just consolidating with the rest of the market, Kathleen. I really don't have any other updates on Track. You know what? Let's take a look at, you asked about Jasmine and Maple. We'll take a look at Maple. That's one that I had a trade in a long time ago. I haven't really looked at it recently. I do know we've charted it on this channel. There was another influencer who was, I don't want to say influencer because I'm not an influencer. I am an educator. I'm a teacher. But there was an influencer out there, I guess, who was talking about this project. You can see similar sort of setup, actually, that I was talking about with Track, and we actually broke down. But this isn't in play anymore. So right now, same holds true. I don't know why this is only drawn to here. Same holds true, Kathleen. I'm going to have your areas of resistance and support here. Other things, since we have more price data, the other thing that kind of sticks out to me, we sort of have this descending resistance. See the descending resistance there? I'm going to take this one off because we broke above it. I don't want too many lines on the chart here. But you can see, this is on the weekly, by the way. You can see where I would redraw another sort of triangular formation here. Now, what I like about this view is that, we got our low here, we got our higher low here, we got our higher low here, we got our descending highs, right? We're trying to sort of break out of this wedged formation and start to break up, right? Now, if we do get a push up in the fourth quarter like I'm anticipating, that should help the likelihood this thing breaks to the upside. If we take a look at the price indicators, I like what I'm seeing in the MACD. There are some positive developments. The histogram's starting to pick up with a positive cross. Stochastic RSI looks very healthy. It's 66 over 41. RSI is still oversold, so that's telling me there's still a lot of strength. They could come into this chart without leading to overbought, leading to it becoming overbought. But that's what I see in the chart. These are the areas of resistance we've already spoken about. So hopefully you found that helpful. I love the regulars that continue to show up and the fact that you guys chat with each other. We want to build a very nice community in this live stream. Everybody should get along. I was hoping Jorge would show up today. You know, he always comes up with some really good ones that I'm apparently slow on, like last time. I knew when he said to wish his father a happy birthday, he was doing some bullshit. It's still stuck in my head. Party brother. I have no idea what you're talking about, Evan. CQT. Kathleen, sell that EOS yet. We're going to wait for the bull run and sell it then. Yeah, I know EOS was a chart. DJ, you were imploring. Nobody here take financial advice from anybody in the live stream or myself, but hopefully everyone, I want everyone to add value to the comments section, so hopefully it at least gets you to think about things and whether, you know, at least gets you to think about things. CQT, we can take a look at that. I was going to make a joke and then it just left me. I can tell it's getting to the end of the day. I'm really feeling out of it this week. I want to get some... CVG is going to be going to bed super motherfucking early today. So first things first, good to see this very sharp decline. You know, huge bleed like we saw in the other chart we charted recently. I don't know what it was. I forget. I think it was Naka, actually. Good to see that we broke out of that. What I also like to see in this chart is when we came down here in September. This is on a weekly, by the way. We didn't take out the lows back here. Good to see that we didn't set a new all-time low. Okay, not even a double bottom. We set a higher low, which is great to see. Now, what happened here? What led to this big breakout? Well, had we actually charted this earlier, if we had an opportunity, if someone had brought this up, I would have said to you, because again, this is something that just sticks out to me right away. And I bet you if we look at it on the Heiken Ashi, it'll be more evident. Sure looks like a falling... maybe not. I take that back. I would have said it was a falling wedge like that, but invalidated because of these two candles. Let me see if I go to the Heiken Ashi. Sometimes when you flip to the Heiken Ashi, it can give you a... Yeah, see, this is a tricky one. This is tricky because let's just forget momentarily... I think my premise is falling apart. Never mind. This is not a falling wedge. I'm trying to draw something that eventually became invalidated, but I don't think it was ever valid to begin with. Let's go back to traditional candlesticks here. Chart support to start. Okay, so this is a general area of support. Of course, we could go a little bit lower. You see some wicks down here, but I want to just give you a general area, which is the bottom of this candlestick here. Really don't want to go below 6.3 cents, okay? So that's the main area that I'd love to see hold. Now, what would be even more bullish? When volume came in this past weekly candlestick, I would love to see us maintain ourselves, okay, basically above this entire candlestick, right? So I don't want to retrace the move with this volume. See how heavy the volume is here? I mean, if this move is real and it really wants to show you something, it's not going to come down here and start coming down here. It will at least stay above the point of that prior candlestick where all the volume came in, okay? Now, in terms of areas of resistance, this is how out of it I am. I forget if we looked at the price indicators. We'll look at the price indicators. Oh, man. I'm so excited to sleep tonight. I'm probably going to, I'll be honest, guys. I'm going to probably be in bed I'll be in bed by 8 o'clock for sure. Yeah. I'm going to be chilling, just relaxing. I just need some relaxation. I was trying to make plans with one of my friends on Saturday. And, I see some comments here I'll need to get to. I was trying to make plans with a friend of mine on Saturday, and he, unfortunately, he's not available when I'm available. And so I just said, hey, let's get together in a couple weeks when we're both free, because honestly, I could use this weekend to sort of like recharge my batteries. That's how I feel. It's just been everybody gets those weeks. You have long weeks where you have a little bit of mental fatigue, just combination of things at work. And it's not just work, for sure, but there's stuff outside of work, and it weighs on you. And you can just tell when you're at sort of like a tipping point where you just need to kind of relax a little bit. So that is what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to be chilling. No exciting plans intentionally. I just want to kind of relax this weekend. This sounds like a nice, subdued live stream. Very, very chill. The only non-subdued relaxation part of my weekend will be when I'm screaming loudly, deadlifting 400 pounds. That will be the only thing. But like, I want to sleep in a little Saturday morning, not rush around, not be on a schedule, and it'll be very nice. So these are major areas of resistance. I think, you had asked about this, right, my friend? Yes, you did. So these are your major areas of resistance, right? The main thing is, look, and it's no surprise, okay? I was about to draw this area of support, which is kind of funny, because this is literally where we wick to. So there is an area of support right at 10 cents, okay? I think the strongest view you could get in the chart to express strength would be to maintain price levels at 10 cents, but ultimately we could come all the way down to 8. Just let's not invalidate 8 cents, okay? And then we got these other several areas of resistance we need to break up past, okay? We got the 14, the 19 and a half, 20 cents, and 23 cent area. Once we get above 23 cents, that's when things are going to get a little spicy. And this is a nice artistic creation. Look, I see a person. Do you? He's got no nose. Let's give him nose. Let's give him my spiky hair. Okay, there's his spiky hair. He's got nice ears. He's sticking out his tongue. I do that when I work out for some stupid reason. He's got huge arms. All right. He's got huge legs. Look at the hammies on these quads. And he's got huge... let's not draw anything else. Okay, let's get off of that. Let's do Pictionary. Is that what the name of the game is? Come back to the channel when we're above like 23 cents, because that's when things really are going to get spicy. You're talking about next major area of resistance really isn't up towards like 35 cents, and then you got all this stuff up here. But looks like it needs to show me more to leave me feeling convicted that we're going to see a true trend reversal to the upside. Yeah, we already looked at... No, we didn't. Nice MACD cross. I don't want this to fade hard, though. I don't want this to fade hard. It makes sense that this would level out a little, but I want to continue pushing up. RSI is still oversold. Actually, it's not too bad, 53. And stochastic RSI looks great. So, what else do we have in the comments? I think meeting is about to be adjourned, and we're going to come back here tomorrow to hopefully see Bitcoin up 55% in one day. Caspa do $1.50 tomorrow. Bitcoin's up at 120,000. Harmony One's up at 50 cents. H-bar's at $5. And CBG didn't even give us 2 weeks. He just left his job. Because of... Well, let me just say, if those price targets that I just said occurred, I wouldn't even give my 2 weeks. I just wouldn't show up because I'd be just fine. I wouldn't need to be an actuary anymore. But I wouldn't want to leave the profession, though. I'll always stay engaged to some degree, I would think. Burns like a motherfucker, but the pump is crazy. Yeah, so for inclines, macro trends, for inclines, I also 95% of the time do dumbbell presses. I don't use a barbell. Agree with you there. My incline bench sucks. My bench press all around sucks, to be honest. It's the one lift. It's my one lift that I'm not happy with. All my other lifts, like I think I lift a tremendous amount of weight for my body weight, especially given my age, and you consider how long I've been doing this, and I've been very fortunate. I've never really had any serious injuries. I have to get, there are very few things I do give myself a decent amount of credit for. Lifting is absolutely one of them. I mean, when I actually think about the fact that I have never taken a break from lifting weights, and I started at age 14 and a half, and I've never stopped, I'm going to give myself some credit for that. And I lift a lot of weight for my body weight. I run circles around people that are in their 20s in the gym. Never been a fan of declines, huh? I like declines. Hang in there, Kathleen. Hang in there. We've all been there. I have made some horrendous decisions investing, that came back to bite me. But I'm still here. My portfolio is still extremely strong. And that is a result of remaining dedicated, being patient, and also educating myself. It's not luck. It's not chance. I spend hours and hours and hours. I don't even think it's hundreds of hours at this point in my life. I think thousands of hours at this point is realistic. Charting and studying. So you just got to be disciplined. If you really want some form of a generational wealth transfer, which is really what we're talking about here with crypto, you want to capture a piece of that, and you want to be financially successful and possibly create financial independence for yourself, which is a subjective term, but financial independence. There's a lot you got to pour into yourself to make that happen. 4-year steady. Good to see you in here, man. 4-year cycle people might be right if we top in 2025. We'll see. There's a probability for everything, but you know how I feel. Who knows? I just get sick of hearing the same narrative. I will say this, though, man. If you followed my comment on Twitter earlier, what do we got here? Yeah, this. So I was having a little bit of friendly. It was just friendly back and forth on a 4-year cycle. And I said, and I've shared this individual on Twitter before, Stock Money Lizards. We both follow each other. I appreciate his content. He must appreciate my content. And I said, I'm curious, have you ever evaluated the Bitcoin chart forgetting about the halving in order to see what potential alternative conclusions you arrive to regarding a blow off top? And this guy weighs in and makes a good point. And I was like, I appreciate your thoughts. My thoughts, I see many on here in YouTube seemingly looking at price actions surrounding the halving dates in a silo environment, resulting in a no-brainer price track for Bitcoin. That is one reason I do not see prices working in this fashion. You got to understand, if 95% of the people you're listening to are projecting this, it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that right now. It's just not going to happen. Could I be wrong? Yes, absolutely. Of course I could be wrong. I just find it highly... Think about this for a second. And I feel like every week I say this. Think about most people saying something and then it comes true. Bitcoin's going to hit 250,000 by 2025. Oh, okay. Well, if you're hearing that from like 95% of the people out there, chances are it's not going to happen, right? So, just food for thought. All right, guys. Evan, you're blowing up the comments here. Usually this is D-Cheap. Both you and DJ are blowing up the comments. Excuse me, Kathleen. Are you inviting me to cook for me? Because I will take you up on that. It's been a long time since anyone has, put female aside, anyone outside of my mother has offered to cook for me. It'd be one of the nice gestures. I've always found myself in these relationships, and I'm not complaining. I'm about to go on a relationship tangent. I love to cook. I love to cook. And I'm also a person that likes to take charge, make decisions. I'm very decisive. So I like being in charge of that stuff. Like, leave it to me. I'll cook. I don't mind. But you know what? It would be nice to find someone who's like, you know what, CBG, I almost said my real name. You know what, CBG? Why don't you sit back this evening? You've had a long week. I'm going to cook for you. Christ, where are you? Because you don't exist. It would be nice. So if you're inviting me over for chicken curry, I think you said, dear God, that sounds good. Chicken curry? I don't know what roti is, but chicken curry? Curry? Dear Lord, sounds good. Thank you so much. And you're actually local too, so that actually could happen. Yes, listen to Evan. Never quit. We know CBG can eat. Got to keep up that metabolism. You know, actually, my caloric intake has been less in the past couple weeks. I've been doing this fasting thing I've told you guys about. But I've felt great, you know. But my metabolism has to be extremely high. You know, that's actually something I want to test. It's interesting you bring that up. I want to test my testosterone levels to see where they're at, my metabolism. I'm going to venture to say my testosterone levels have to be very high because, well, we don't need to go there. There are certain reasons why. But besides that, I also tend to recover from my workouts pretty quickly. And I have a lot of energy. This week is an outlier. Like, I tend to have a lot of energy, especially for how active I am and how early I get up. And I have a lot of energy. So I would think my testosterone levels are very high. But same thing with metabolism. I would like to get that checked. Macro Trends got into crypto since the start of 2017. Congratulations. You were in before me. Mostly in alts and never sold any. Wow. Listen to what he's saying. He or she, I should say. Listen to what Macro Trends is saying. He learned a painful lesson. He never sold anything. The expanded flat correction in 2021. Again, it's interesting how life, we're going to bring things back to the beginning of the live stream. I forget who said it. Maybe DJ. I think DJ said it. It's interesting how life, when looked at in reverse, makes sense. Had I known that we were going to get this expanded flat correction where everything was going to start going higher than it did in early 2021 and then fake us out and then go through a massive correction, would have sold out, would probably have been in a position where I don't know if I would have quit my job because I've spent a lot of time thinking about that. That's a very daunting thought, but I at least probably would have cut back to part-time. And would have been in a great position to do a lot more live streaming and put a lot more effort into not that I don't put a lot of effort, but have a lot more time to put into the crypto content. But I didn't. You know, you learn from it. And Macro Trends, I guarantee you, has learned from it. He had a powerful lesson learned by never selling anything back then. You know, I'm sure his portfolio was worth a fuck ton. You are... Kathleen. You're in crypto and you're 63? Congratulations. I was not expecting that. Usually, because I can tell based on my analytics when I look at the video, first off, the audience is 99% male, 95, 97. And secondly, the demographic is within my age range. So anywhere between your 30s and 40s. So right in between 30s and 40s are the main people that are tuning in. I am really proud to have you in on this channel, and I'm proud of you for investing in this market, given that you're, I would say, you're definitely an older demographic when it comes to investing in crypto. I give you a lot of credit. I really do. Indian fish. Interesting. I love fish. I comment all the time to you guys. I make fish. I just had fish. That was my last meal today. I made some bronzino. Not bronzino. I made some barramundi. One of the healthiest fish out there. All right, guys. Thank you for coming back to the channel. If you're new, I appreciate you tuning in for the first time here. Hope to have you back again. And thank you for interacting so much in the comments. It really helps. I love when I come out here and I'm charting along and you guys are being so interactive in the comments. It's nice to see. So I will be back here tomorrow. I feel 95% confident on that. So should be back here tomorrow. 95% confidence there on being back here tomorrow. But have a good evening. Have a good morning, DT. Have a good afternoon wherever you're at. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. All right? Everybody spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care.